Hi guys, Teacher Harry here. Welcome back to my English lessons where I help you to get a better understanding of the English language and try and avoid or clear up some of those confusions that we have with certain words that might sound the same or have similar meanings and you want to know how to use them. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, there are three words. They're a little bit grim but that's part of life, so we often get them confused. In my students, when I'm giving lessons, they get them confused. So the words are killed, dead, murdered. Okay? Killed, dead, murdered. So when do we use them? Now, if we look at the news and we see a headline, 10 people were killed yesterday, it usually means that some accident happened. Okay? So a cable car crashed or a bus went off the road and 10 people were killed. So it wasn't a deliberate action, and that's the first important point. People are killed not normally by a deliberate action. Normally, they are killed because of an accident. So a car crash or a bus crash or something happened, some weather, storm, lightning or volcano erupting or tsunami effect. So in that sense, any victims of that are people who have been killed. Okay, so be careful how we construct it. 10 people were killed today. 10 people have been killed in an accident. Okay, so that's something usually because of a natural disaster or some other accident. When we use the word murdered, then it's a deliberate act. Somebody killed somebody, but they did it viciously and deliberately. So somebody shot 10 people in a town in America, or somebody went into a bank and murdered the bank manager, or somebody murdered their wife or their husband deliberately because they were having an affair with somebody else. So they're a deliberate act, and then we say the person was murdered. Now, they were killed, but they were killed through violence, and therefore we use one person was murdered today. 10 people were murdered during a bank raid. Yeah? So there's a deliberate act on somebody's part to kill those people, and we use the word murdered. So a person has been accused of murder. Okay? To murder somebody, you have to plan it in advance, and they call it premeditated murder. So somebody said, yeah, I'm going to kill that person. So they shot them or they stabbed them with a knife or whatever way they used it. So it's premeditated. So the person, when they were caught, has been charged with murder, to murder somebody. So there's the verb to murder. 10 people were murdered. And then when we use the word dead, you have to be really, really careful with here the verb to die. Okay, dead is the adjective. How many people died in the accident? Okay, how many people died in the accident? Oh, 10 people died in that accident. Not were died. Okay, so be very careful. We don't need the auxiliary verb. Just 10 people died. 10 people were killed. So you can see the difference there. With kill, we have to use the auxiliary verb. 10 people were killed, but not 10 people were died. 10 people died in that particular accident. One person is dead after the storms. 50 people are dead or presumed dead after the storms. Okay, so again, just using it in a slightly different way. How did he die? He died because of a lightning strike. He is dead. He has been dead for 2 weeks. Or if you're talking to a friend about a particular book you like to read and an author, and you say, oh, I must read some more books of his. And he said, oh, it's impossible now because he has been dead for 2 years or 6 months or 6 years. Okay, so we use it in that context just to describe what has happened to that person. Okay, so we've got killed, dead, murdered. So just to be careful, they were killed perhaps by accident. They died as a result of an illness. They were murdered because it was premeditated. Okay, so similar, life has ended. When somebody is killed, their life ends. When somebody dies, their life ends. When somebody is murdered, unfortunately, their life ends. But the verb or the adjective we use to describe it will very much depend on the way in which their life ended. They were killed by an accident. They died as a result of an illness. They were murdered by a gang of thieves. Okay, killed, dead, murdered. If you don't understand it again, if you need some further explanation, well, of course, that you can contact me and I'd be very happy to explain it to you. And as always, thanks for listening. Join me again soon.